It's time for Solutions for Seniors to Be here on WATD. Here to help make your golden years golden, offering guidance on programs and services available to you and your loved ones in your retirement. Now, here's your host, Chris Shea.
I've been in the right place.
Good morning. Hopefully this is the right place at the right time for you. It's a Sunday here in March, and hopefully everybody's enjoying it as we get ready for spring. And one of the things that I like to do here is not always talk about the unfun stuff around the aging process, but also bring in some things that are a little bit maybe different that might help people. And I do a lot of networking, and one of the people I networked with is a guy by the name of Rabin. He is a national chess master who does a lot of educational things for kids, but he also does some things for seniors as well. So, Evan, welcome to the show, and introduce yourself a little bit better than I did.
So, for one, Chris, thank you so much for having you. It's great to connect. As one of my newer networking colleagues, thanks to In This Together Roundtable, figured I would give them a little shout out. A great group every week. But so I am a national chess master and owner of Premier Chess. We actually have 65 great coaches, and we do chess programming all around the country, as well as occasionally internationally. We've been to Tanzania, Africa twice. And one thing that we have been doing a lot of is actually doing some classes for seniors. Basically, a couple of years ago, we were running programs in a lot of schools and a lot of companies. And I basically just had a revelation. I said, why am I limiting ourselves to, kids and adults? Why not, go with seniors? And there's, contrary to some popular belief, there's actually a lot of chess companies around, but I would say none of them really focus on seniors. And, one of my biggest blessings in life, honestly, was, teaching a Holocaust survivor chess for the first time once, for instance, where, in the beginning, he even was like, look, how could I do this? It's like, I should have done this when I was a kid or something like that. But I said, no, that's a limiting belief. Yeah. And, he learned, and it was, such a blessing.
Yeah, no, I grew up playing a little bit of chess, and I am definitely not very good. I did try and teach my daughter how to play chess a little bit, but it's always been something on the peripheral for me. But I also know that it can definitely make you think differently and give you something to do, because chess matches usually don't get done very quickly, do they?
It depends. Of course, there's speed tournaments. There's an action tournament, like I played last night here in Florida, which was, 25 minutes per player. But then there's also, more serious time control tournaments that where the games could be up to 5-6 hours. So, they kind of run the gamut in terms of time controls.
Yeah, but so outside of just the tournaments, right? Because we've seen, I know I one of my favorite movies is Searching for Bobby Fischer. I thought that was a great movie. Chess was probably the least important aspect of that for me. But I do know that there's speed chess out there and things like that. But for the most part, people that are just playing for themselves, there's no real time limit, right? It's just play.
Yeah, I would say definitely most casual players do not play with the clock. So,
right. So how did you get into chess, by the way? Right. I always want to know where people, was it something that your family pushed you towards, or did you gravitate towards it, or how did that all come about?
So, it was mostly on my own. When I was in second grade, my brother and my dad taught me how to move the pieces. And then shortly after that, I started playing in the club at my school, Churchill School in New York. with Women's International Master Shanaz Kennedy, who actually still runs a program there today. And I quickly started playing in tournaments. 2 months after I learned how to move the pieces, I played my first tournament. A month after that, I went to the Nationals and pretty much never looked back. And I made master when I was 20.
Wow, that's pretty young, right? In terms of making master, right?
In today's standards, no.
Really?
But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, but by today's standard, not so much. I mean, most kids are making master like 14, 15, 16, 17.
Why is that?
This guy, Andy Woodward, just became the youngest grandmaster of all time. He's, 14. So, actually, no, he wasn't the youngest grandmaster of all time, but, very young. He was 14. So
why is it moving to younger?
Basically with computers and online chess clubs like Elite Chess and chess.com, and there's a million resources out there. And kids don't have responsibilities, so they're spending hours on end with chess. And I was actually just talking to someone last night at a tournament, and I said it was kind of interesting that I feel like kids are afraid of playing adults, and adults are afraid of playing with kids a lot of the time. Because when I play against an adult, I more or less know their skill level. This lady, for instance, that I played on Sunday was 2022. Okay, she's going to play more or less like a 2022 player. The kids, they might be, easily 200 points underrated. They're quickly developing.
Okay, all right. So people are probably wondering how this fits into seniors and how this can be of benefit for seniors in their later years. What are some of the benefits that you've seen from the work you've done with seniors learn how to play chess?
Yeah, thanks for asking. And yeah, we've done actually seniors classes on our own. We've taught a couple classes at a couple synagogues where there's a lot of seniors, like Lincoln Park Jewish Center in Yonkers. We've also did some classes with Village Care, JCC Manhattan, Goddard Riverside on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, other places as well. And I would say the biggest benefit, just like, kids and adults is keeping your brain sharp, giving them something to do, keeping them active. My grandmother, Roberta, who, not, a chess player really, but she stays very active, doing art, driving almost every day. She's 94, thank God.
94, driving every day? That's fantastic.
Yeah, almost every day. Pretty much,
yeah.
So, and doing things and all the time, right? When I tell her that, like, oh my God, I'm so impressed with like all that you do, she's like, it's the only way to do it. I got to stay active, I absolutely agree. And I do think it's something to keep your brain sharp, keep a community. And one other area we've been, working with seniors actually is several of our instructors are actually retired seniors as well. So we're also just giving them, things to do. Dr. Richard Lewis on my team, who's I think 80 now. He, I know he wouldn't mind me saying that because publicly many times, including on my own podcast, but. He's a retired dentist, and now he's working for us like 4 days a week in teaching in Westchester, and he's just so grateful. It's his passion project, and so I think, to answer your question a little bit more directly, look, it's giving them something to do. It's keeping their brain active. It's giving them a community. I played this tournament in Boca Raton on Sunday. And of course, as you certainly know, Boca's, a hot spot for retirees. And yeah, there were definitely. I mean, younger people at the tournament too, of course, but a fair amount of seniors I saw, and just the fact that they're coming out, they're doing something. They have friends. They're not secluded. Is amazing. But that truly is for seniors and everyone else. And then also one more thing I will say, I'm not going to quote myself on this, but I have seen some research too that it even will help prevent Alzheimer's as well. So, but yes, whether that's completely true or not, for sure, it definitely helps people keep their brain sharp. And one thing I also want to say too is, it's also just not too late ever to start playing chess. This guy, Fred Wilson, is a master. He actually made master at age 71. Okay, admittedly, he was relatively close to master strength before that. It's not like he just picked up the pieces for the first time at age 70 or whatever and made master. No, he's actually been running a chess company in New York. He still does. But I still thought that was very impressive. So, I always think that, it's something to do, and it's fun, it's productive, maybe even a little extra income if you still, are looking for that. And it's a blessing.
Yeah, and there's a lot that you said in there that I want to follow up on, but I do want, because that's going to take us another 10 or so minutes. So before we jump into that, I do want to give our advertisers a little plug here, and we'll be right back after that to finish up. Are you fit to retire? I'm Chris Shea, financial advisor with BPS Financial Services in Marshfield. I work with clients to create a 100-day plan that can help get you started so that you can get the most out of your retirement. You've worked your whole life towards your goal of retirement. Let BPS Financial Services put together a plan that will help you enjoy your retirement. Find out how a 100-day plan tailored to you can help you get started in your retirement at fit2retire.com/Chris-Shea or call 781-733-5996. That's 781-733-5996. And now for my fast red disclosure, as this has been compliance approved.
Chris Shea is a registered representative offering securities and advisory services offered through Cetera Advisor Networks, LLC, member FINRA/SIPC, a broker-dealer and registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity, located at 752 Ocean Street, Marshfield, Massachusetts, 02050.
That's 781-733-5996. And welcome back. Hopefully everybody has got a little listen to the ads there. What Evan and I you were talking about, Evan, at the end there was a little bit of what I like to talk to people about too in their retirement years is there's 3 seasons and there's 5 areas of retirement success. And the 3 seasons are the go-go, the slow-go, and the no-go. And the go-go, you might fit chess in there, but the slow-go and no-go is definitely a time to bring in the chess because you're not going out, you're not traveling, you're more in your home environment or in a living location, and you've got time to do that. And then I think more importantly too is what you talked about with people having activities or finding a second career, because I look at 4 areas of retirement success in addition to finances are self-identity, social, health and nutrition, and personal relationships. And you talked about the doctor who retired and now he's got another identity as a chess guy, right? Who goes around and teaches chess. So he's redefined and re-answered the question of who he is. And you talked about not having any definitive answers on things, but the National Institute on Aging actually did a study where it shows that people who have social and leisure activities live longer with less risks of health problems, including dementia, right? The second answer part of that too was social, right? The social life is usually around your work in America, but you need to have a place to live and enjoy things that you're doing, which chess is definitely a social thing. And University of California actually did a study where 25% of seniors who feel isolated and unhappy have declines in their ability to perform daily living activities like bathing, dressing, and meal prep, whereas people who don't experience loneliness only report a 12.5% decline in activities, which means you're twice as likely to be able to do what you're able to do and take care of yourself if you've got a social life. And chess does that. Right?
Absolutely.
So I think you're onto a little bit of something there with what you got going on. And then again, health and nutrition, that really can't be solved by chess. But personal relationships, you can have some wonderful relationships with the people you're playing chess with, and hopefully beating on occasion.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a great community. Even actually last night I played a tournament here in Palm Beach, Florida, and my first round opponent was a retired police detective from Philadelphia, and is honestly your typical snowbird down here in Florida. And I thought it was amazing. Actually, he played his first rated tournament last night. Actually, he played like one tournament 2 years ago. But he did play chess as a kid here and there, but really just got into it, taking it seriously as a senior. And I just thought that was really cool. And he's just like, I want to play now. I want to make tournaments. I want to see how I could do. And I give him a lot of props. That he's just doesn't have limiting beliefs, and he's able to move forward. And look, whether he's going to make master or not, I have no idea, of course. But but
the goal may not be to make master, right?
It would be amazing. And also look, it's a great community too. He I actually asked him where he lives. It was pretty close to our hotel, and he had to give me a ride home after the tournament too. So it's a great community. So that's why I do and that's one thing I love about chess too, which is it's an equalizer. My parents used to laugh all the time when I was 18, and most of my high school friends were hanging out with people from high school, and I'd be hanging out with seniors, and anyone in between. We go into chess tournaments, and we're, eating meals between rounds. And, one of my friends, Frank, is a senior. We actually used to room together at a lot of tournaments. So it's just amazing that it's the kind of activity that, truly everyone could do. And yes, we that's why we teach business and life lessons to, literally kids as young as 3 and seniors 100 plus.
Yeah, no, I do think that social aspect is something that is probably missed by people when they think about things like this, because they think, oh, I'm just going to sit around and play a game of chess, right? And that may or may not be something that they want to do. But it does get them out of the house, or even if they're in the house and they want to play online, I'm sure there's plenty of online and
Absolutely.
apps potential.
It's incredible. You just turn on leadchess.org any time of day, within 30 seconds or at most, right? You're paired against someone usually. Depending on what time control you pick, some are a little less popular, but, max a minute, until you get paired against somebody. So, and I should also highlight one of our programs that we have with DeRote Westchester. I'm sure you're likely familiar with DeRote. They do a lot of programming for seniors in Westchester and Manhattan, but with DeRote Westchester, we actually facilitate an intergenerational chess program between high school students and seniors. And, basically the high school students will play with and also even teach the seniors a little bit. And one of our instructors, Jose Leon, goes and facilitates the program, does a quick lesson every week, and then, watches the seniors and high schoolers play against each other. And it's, a great community for sure.
Yeah, and I think, again, people, when they retire, they need to have that self-identity. And one of the things that usually comes up is they want to give back in some way, shape, or form to younger people to help them learn some of the lessons that they may have learned the hard way, as some would say, and maybe say, hey, look, I learned this the hard way. Maybe you can learn it the easy way. Like, learn from my mistakes in order to make sure that you don't potentially screw up the way that I did. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to, that's part of life, is learning from your mistakes. But hopefully some of the bigger ones you can avoid, and talking to people that have experienced that throughout the course of their lifetimes can absolutely be of benefit. And I know that, my parents have passed away a couple of years ago, but my dad used to love showing people how to do things, and my mom would go in, and she was a realtor for years, and she would love teaching and giving advice to the new realtors about how to do it and be successful. And when they found people that were really, taking their advice, they were really happy and proud about that. And I'm sure it's pretty similar in the chess area.
And it's their biggest blessing. Even this guy that I met last night, he also said that he, has taught a little bit, and for him, it's just such a passion, giving back and teaching.
Yeah, because there's a lot of wisdom that people have when they've gone through things, and it may not be, as you said, with the lessons might not be the chess lessons that people get. It might be the lessons in life that are just as important, if not more important, than the chess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I like to say all the time, when we're teaching chess, we're teaching life lessons like critical thinking, judgment training, healthy competition, how to, keep a stamina, how to play when you're either tired, or you also want to be not overconfident but not underconfident. You want to, just kind of treat it like it's a normal game, but that could be not so easy. Even last night in my last round of the tournament, by the way, first prize was $50. We're not talking about, anything a lot, but I do have to say that in the last round, there is some pressure. It's like, do I win this game and win the tournament, or do I lose this game and, make nothing?
Well, that's pride, right? That's personal pride.
It's personal pride, and it's, yes, and then especially, yes, like when you're playing the World Open, for instance, and there's, potentially a couple thousand on the line, it's not so easy just to, like, take a breather, relax, and, treat it like it's any other game.
Yeah, and so I play poker on Tuesday nights where I live down in Marshfield, and there's a couple of women in the group that are 75 and 90, and they're still out playing poker on a regular basis, enjoying it, and they play other card games during the week. I don't think they're into chess, but they play bridge and some other card games at the local senior center. Have you brought some of these programs into Centers for Active Living or Council on Aging or things like that?
So we've done some classes, I think, as I mentioned before, at Village Care in Goddard Riverside, and some other centers. And look, they've seen great results. Seniors are coming back. It gives them something to do. I remember actually the first class I taught at Village Care about 5 years ago now. Actually, I was shocked. This one guy there was super into chess. And I said, like, oh, like what like got you into chess and whatnot? Because, like, oh yeah, 20 years ago I was like a hustler in Washington Square Park. I was like, whoa. And then I ended up one of my instructors actually is actually a former hustler in the park as well, and I actually asked him about him, and yeah, my instructor Phil knew him actually a little bit, like in passing. So, and this guy was so grateful actually just to be like back into it, and it was amazing, and we instantly connected. So, yeah, I just have to say that. Look, seniors definitely need something to do. It's a passion that will keep them alive. My good friend, Dr. Nava Silton, who is on my podcast, is a psychologist. And one thing that she's once gave a talk about was, if you're happy, you're healthy, and she talked about ways to create happiness. And one of the biggest ways is just to have a passion, whether it be chess or music or guitar or bridge or poker, you name it. But just something to, keep you sharp and keeping you at the community and keeping you busy. Busy is good, whether you're retired or not.
Yep, you've got to have that self-identity beyond your job, and you've got to have a social life that gets you out and interacting with the world, because we saw with COVID that even if you're an introvert, if you shut down and you don't hang out with other human beings, it can be very depressing and very, very sad. But I will say also that we've almost gotten done with our time here today. If someone were interested in reaching out and learning more about what you kind of do there, Evan, how would somebody get in touch with you?
Thank you. So, yeah, if anyone does want to reach out, whether you're a senior or not, and would be interested.
Senior to be.
And, would be interested in services or just have any, chess-related questions. I'm always open to that. You could definitely check out our website, premierchess.com. You could email Evan at premierchess.com. Or I always say the best is book a meeting on my calendar directly. Go to www.calendly.com/premierchess, and you could book a time that would be mutually convenient to connect.
Yep, and do it on your schedule that is open. And I know I've done that in the past to get you in time. But yeah, no, this has been, as I said at the beginning, this isn't something that people would normally think about as a solution for a senior. But it does fall into the self-identity and social realms and personal relationships. So I appreciate your time, Evan, and hopefully you have a great rest of your Sunday. And coming up next, we got the car guy.
I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. I done said the right thing, but it must have used the wrong line. I've been on the right trail, but I must have used the wrong car. Head is in a bad place, and I wonder what's good for. I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. My head is in a bad place, but I'm having such a good time. I've been running, trying to get hung up in my mind. Just got to give myself a good talking to this time. Just need a little brain salad surgery. I got to cure my insecurity. That I've been in the wrong place, but it must have been the right time. I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong song. I've been in the right vein, but it seems like a wrong on. That I've been in the right world, but it seems like the wrong. sneaking, peeping, hiding out down the street. See my life shaking with every who I meet. Refried confusion as I'm making itself clear. Wonder which way do I go to get on out of here? Cause I've been in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. And I done said the right thing, but it must have used the wrong line. I took the right road, but I must have took a wrong train. I took a right move, but I made it at the wrong time. I've been in the right trip, but I made it in the wrong